Hi everyone. Here is an overview of Module 2, which is focusing on what is media literacy. So as you can see in Module 2, there's an introduction and there's 4 assignments. The first assignment is just a general Padlet introduction so we can start to get to know each other better. And then assignments 2, 3, and 4 really start to dive into what is media literacy. So let's take a look. So if I go into the introduction, you'll see an overview of what this module is all about, what we're going to be discussing, and a list of the 4 assignments. Please note that assignment 1 is due February 4th. But assignments 2 through 4 are not due until February 11th. So this is a really important quote by Alvin Toffler to get us started thinking about media literacy. And for those of you who've had me in my other class, I use this as well, but I still think it's important to remember all the time. But that in this day and age, as things have changed in media and how we communicate, how we access information, it's not sufficient anymore just to be able to read and write. We've got to be able to learn new ways of communicating, unlearn some of the old ways that we used to do things, and relearn as things change and progress. So the first assignment, which is due on the 4th, is just a quick activity to help us start to get to know each other, and we're going to use Padlet. I noticed many of you in the 5 takeaways from the online learning said that you hadn't used Padlet before, and I love Padlet, so I thought it would be a great time to use it. So what I want you to do is all you have to do is click on the Padlet, the link to the Padlet wall, and it will take you to the wall. And what I really want you to do is I just want you to post a quick introduction to yourself, include your major, and then what you aspire to do with your education. As you can see, I've started the post with mine, and I've introduced myself. I'm full-time educational technology specialist at the Ventura County Office of Education. I also teach part-time at CSUCI. And I'm on the final stages of finishing my doctorate in education. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm going to be asking you guys all to help me with my research this semester. So that would be an awesome thing if you can help me out with that. I really want to continue working with all students at all levels, teachers, college students, all that. And I'm super passionate about media literacy and information literacy. It's an essential component of having a working democracy. Democracy depends on people being informed and being able to understand the information that comes their way. In this age with information overload and fake news and all kinds of things, it's really important that we gain these media literacy skills so that we feel confident in our ability to use and discern and share information. So to post on a Padlet wall, I have a video for you, but it's super easy. You just double click somewhere on the wall and you type something, or you can choose this pink plus button down here and the same thing. Always make sure to put your name on it somewhere, and feel free to add pictures or videos or anything that you want to your introduction. All right, so next in the list of assignments is I want you to explore some foundations of media literacy. So I've put in some resources, things for you to read, but basically what I'm going to want you to do is I want you to create a Google Doc, and you're going to essentially take notes as you go through each one of the resources. So as you go through each section, I want you to write notes about what you learned, what you found out, what you're thinking, those kinds of things. The notes don't have to be super formal. Use whatever method you like for note taking, but I want to be able to read through those notes and see that you're getting the gist of media literacy and media literacy foundations. The next assignment is this one is asking you also to create a Google Doc, but you're going to be writing a bit more formally in this one. So you're going to go to this field guide to media literacy education. And as it pops up, you're going to scroll through and start with the introduction. And you're going to read through, the big tent and the broad view of media literacy education. And then it moves on to talking about the different paradigms. So these particular authors break the media literacy into two paradigms. And a paradigm is really a theoretical foundation or a school of thought related to a topic. So one paradigm is protectionist, that media literacy is seen as a way to educate people so that they're protected from the negative influences of media. This started early on with early television and some of those kinds of things, but it's still in place. You'll see some of this with digital citizenship and some of those things where it's really about security and protection. The second paradigm is called the empowerment paradigm, and this one takes a look at media literacy and media literacy as education as a way to empower people to use media to get what they need, get the information, to share their voice, to be part of the conversation. So they're really two schools of thought. There isn't necessarily a hard line between the two because sometimes they overlap, but I want you to read through these two things and get an idea of the different perspectives of media literacy. And as it says in here in the assignment, so I want you to read those and then summarize each of the prominent paradigms and then choose 3 of the strands within each paradigm and discuss the questions that emphasize and for each strand and the pros and cons for each. So if you look at this particular one, if I scroll down, here are the strands within the protectionist paradigm. So one of the strands is media and public health. So that might be one of the strands that you address. So there's questions here related to the strand of media and public health, and I want you to look at those. I want you to look at the summary, and I want you to discuss the pros and cons for each. And I want this in your own voice. So think about what you know. I'm not looking for right answers. I'm looking for you to take what you've read and what you learned in the previous assignment, and I want you to start to flesh out your own understanding of media literacy and the pieces within the broader scope of media literacy education. All right. And so I have the assignment here, and if you click on this link, you'll see the rubric. Now remember, this is a course that counts towards English credit. So I will be looking at your writing. Make sure that you take time to proofread. Sometimes it's really helpful if you read out loud what you've written, because it helps you pick up maybe some missing words or things, because when you write and then you read it, it's all in your head and it sounds perfectly fine. But when you read it out loud, it sometimes helps. Or have somebody else read it. Remember that you guys also have access to the writing lab and writing resources at CSUCI, and you do not have to come on campus to use those. All right, and finally, the last assignment is called the Grandparents of Media Literacy. And what I want you to do is create a presentation. So if you come to this particular site, and I'll pop it up here, you can see that my internet at my house is fun times, but it's okay. It's not too bad today. And you'll see a list of people who are considered to be um, prominent, or the movers and shakers of media literacy. So it's easier if you go to the gallery, and then what you'll be able to do is scroll down and see all the different people. I want you to pick one person that's listed there and create a presentation that talks about who that person is or was if they passed, and how they have influenced media literacy education. Why are they included on this wall of fame, so to speak? All right. And really try to identify the media literacy paradigm that you think that they would be most aligned with. Do they tend to be more of a protectionist or an empowerment philosophically? So you can use any different kind of tool that you want: Google Slides, Adobe Spark, Prezi, animation software. I don't care. I just want it to be a presentation. I want you to use images to help enhance your story. And somewhere in your presentation, the last slide or at the end, whatever, you need to have a works cited section, and you need to follow either APA or MLA, depending on what you signed up for in the previous activity. I have included here a link to a reference for how you cite images that are online, because you will need to cite your images. And then this is a discussion board. So what you'll go do is you'll come down here, you'll hit reply. You're going to post a working link to your presentation. We got to be able to see it. And I want you to write a really short summary of who you chose and why you chose that person. All right, so I'm going to be looking for a quality presentation. I'm looking for an analysis of the person's contribution to media literacy, presented in a format that's easy for anyone to understand. So you're essentially presenting this to an audience who doesn't really know much about media literacy. All right. And I want you to add additional relevant resources and images to make your presentation stronger. I've added here a link to a Google Doc, which has a bunch of resources on creating a quality presentation. And I suggest that you watch this short video on Death by PowerPoint. It's very informative and it's hilarious. So those are the 4 assignments that we have for Module 2. And I hope that all makes sense. And if you have any questions, remember that we have the in the discussion forums, we have the ask and answer forum. Here it goes, loading right up here. You can click on there and you can post any questions you have there. You can also text through Remind, or you can send me an email. All right, have a great week, great couple of weeks. I'll be in touch, and I guess the rain's coming back, so let's all stay warm and dry. Bye.